Well, good morning. Welcome to Top Talkers. My panel today, Melanie Adams from Cub & Company and 93.9 Bob FM. Good morning to you. Kurt Stoodley from this fine program.
Hi.
And Cody Jeffries from Afternoons on 93.9 Bob FM. We're talking about the big sugar drink ban that New York City, and he spearheaded it, Michael Bloomberg, the mayor of New York.
Michael Bublé?
Yeah.
Him too.
Bloomberg actually saying, you know, we need to get a handle on obesity. This is a start. We're going to ban drinks over 16 ounces, sugary drinks over 16 ounces, and a court said can't do it. So he's talking about it as a setback, like they're going to go back at it, and that.
This makes no sense to me.
Is that right?
The entire idea makes no sense to me.
So you don't think sugary drinks are part of the problem?
Sure, they're part of the problem, but it's the people who are drinking them, not the availability of them.
Right.
I mean, seriously, can you imagine now? Suddenly you go to the movie theater and there's no free refills. Are you kidding me?
I mean, here's what I don't understand is okay, so they want to ban them what, at restaurants?
Everywhere.
Oh, well,
Delis.
I guess I can't just walk to the store and buy a bottle of pop then.
Right.
Make your own.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't buy. You
Choose
wouldn't
your
be able to
soda
buy
stream,
what would appear to be a one-serving drink over 16 ounces, right? 16 ounces a
guess I'll
pint.
buy
That's
two.
big. Yeah, that's
You know,
that's what I was wondering. Why couldn't I just walk out with two?
Yeah.
You could.
Right.
That's the point.
Yeah.
I think, you know, limiting people's choices and how they go about their daily lives is not the answer to an obesity problem.
No.
I mean, it's up to the individual. Let's face it. If you're going to make a lifestyle change and change the fact that you drink 32 ounces in one container of sugary drink, whatever that might be, wherever you get it, then that's entirely up to you. It's not up to the mayor of New York.
I mean, there are places in the world where there is control over what you can eat and drink and buy, and those places aren't happy places.
They're called communist countries.
Some of them. So, Cody, does this have an end? Is this a slippery slope, you think? Do you see a ban on donuts or salt, things with the amount of salt? These are also problems.
Don't
Yes,
ban donuts,
I don't
Cody.
think the government should mandate what we. I mean, we have our own say in things, don't we? We have a mind. We can talk about it, right? We can figure it out.
So on Top Talkers, sometimes we end up saying, well, this is a bad idea. Let's come up with some solutions. What do you think maybe the answer is? Is there any answer to controlling obesity?
No, I don't think there is. I think people will eat and drink what they want to. They will be lazy if they want to, and you can't change their minds. And that's their right.
Kurt, do you think education has a role to play here?
I can't tell you how disappointed I am at the lack of physical education programs that are available in schools now. I mean, that's all we did at school. And, you know, I'm not saying every kid out there is sedentary and sitting around the house playing computer games, but there's far more of that going on now than there ever used to be. And part of the problem is funding for schools has dropped to a level where they have to look at programs and they have to go, okay, what's the first thing we're going to cut? So they decide on physical education.
Well, it's not going to be math and science, right?
No.
Some kids didn't like gym. How many of those were there? There were very few, correct?
I loved it.
Yeah,
I
me
didn't
too.
like math.
I'd rather go to gym than chemistry class or any science.
Yeah.
But anyway, you got to put this back in the schools and get kids out running around and doing the things that we used to do. I mean,
they're having
they're
having trouble with extracurricular activities, let alone, you know,
I hate
curriculum.
to you know, go back to the well on this, but when I was a young lad,
But it's true.
seriously, we used to get on our bikes and go and do and
Miles
run
and miles, right? I mean, do you remember that? The
I didn't
freedom
have
to go
cell
and
phones
do
to let my
whatever?
parents know
Playing
where I
tag,
was
running.
either.
Right. And I always felt like, did you ever feel unsafe as a kid?
No.
When you were playing outside?
Never.
I always felt like if you're in a, and I think the same is probably generally true today. If you're in a group of kids, I think you're in an okay place.
Yeah.
What do you, as a parent of a young boy, like, what are you going to do?
Oh, it's all.
Are you going to keep?
It's all
your
organized
kid
sports.
inside?
Organized sports. He's in skating and swimming lessons.
But are
right
you going
now.
to allow your child to go out and run around with other kids?
I like our neighborhood, particularly where it is, and the neighbors around. There are people outside all the time. I will have no problem. There are kids playing in the street in our neighborhood. That is rare.
What if your boy decides on his own when he's 8 or 9 years old to get on his bike and go down to the local corner store and get himself a big old sugary drink?
What are you gonna do?
Well, I mean, he earned that allowance, just like you earned your paycheck.
So you
is
mean
that right?
he would make the choice?
He could make the choice. So I'm hoping that you raise your child in a certain way. But so you're saying that that society's just on the way to
no,
obesity?
I think that instead of banning things that are bad for us, maybe the government has to make it easier to get things that are good for us. When I go to the grocery store and I shop, and I'm shopping for me, and I buy a lot of fruits and veggies, and it can be pricey.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it's like when you're buying for a family.
Yeah.
It's
On a
sometimes
limited budget.
cheaper
crazy.
to go to the freezer aisle and buy a bunch of frozen pizzas. And
Yeah.
I think that, you know, instead of banning the bad stuff, make the good stuff more available.
Yeah, or raise the price of the bad stuff.
What else
Exactly.
will work?
Do you know how I tell if someone's making good coin at their job these days? How big their cereal box is. That stuff's expensive. That's true.
Yeah.
They
You
took
can
the
only
family
be
back
rich
home.
if you're having 4 big gulps a day.
There you have it. That's Top Talkers. Just some thoughts. We love to hear your thoughts on this, maybe solutions too, on our Facebook page at CTV Ottawa Morning Live. Look for that.